me.
Units.
There was one more. Sorry. There was 10 million units sold that were PS5 exclusives that were first party titles.
Well, they sold
for
10 million
PlayStation, right?
PS5 consoles.
10 million consoles?
Yes, 10 million PS5 consoles have been sold,
Okay.
as well as all the game number sales for the consoles. So the PS5 became the fastest growing console in history.
Mm-hmm.
No consoles reached 10 million before its first year's up, right?
Right.
So that's pretty incredible. Also, they sold 5.6 million Miles
it was
Morales.
6.5
million Miles
Miles
Morales.
Morales for a PS5.
6.5 for Miles Morales. 1.1 million for Ratchet and Clank.
Right.
2.2, I think, for MLB The Show.
Yeah, I believe
And then 560 for...
I think it was like around 526,000 units.
so around
something like
550K for Returnal.
that. Right.
So that seems low. I don't know. That seems low to me because when you see 10 million units sold, we don't know what Demon Souls sold for. We were speculating this before the show. Is that because they don't have ownership of that studio, Blue Point, so they can't release those numbers? Or is it, are they hiding them? Did Demon Souls not sell that well? Like, is that possible? That'd be weird to me because when I look at this, I think to myself, when I saw the PS5, what got me hyped about it were the games. Demon Souls in particular. So I really wanted to buy a PS5 because I wanted to play Demon Souls. Right? Mark included, you included. And I know we talked about this when the PS5 was launching, that we weren't even sure if it was worth buying a PS5 because there really wasn't any games to play, really, except Demon Souls.
Besides one, yeah.
And so we weren't really that hyped. Well, come to find out, it doesn't seem like these PS5 games are really selling that much, apart from Miles Morales. But Miles Morales was like cross-gen. Like you could buy it on a PS4. We're talking about Demon Souls, Returnal, Ratchet. These games, Returnal and Ratchet in particular, can only be played on a PS5. That's it.
Right.
And if you have 10 million people out there who bought a PS5 and only 1 million bought Ratchet, I mean, 1 million units is it's a lot of units.
Yeah.
But when it's only 10%,
It's a very, very small
10% of the users bought it, and it's only 5% of the users bought Returnal.
Yeah.
What I want to know is, what are y'all playing? Like, what are y'all playing on your PS5s?
Yeah, for the ones that were able to get it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we know that number is, I mean, essentially it's like every person that bought a PlayStation 5 at least bought one first-person title.
I would think.
For it. That's what it looks like. If you got 10 million units sold, and there's 10 million units of games sold, that's
Well, we don't know if
essentially
there's
like
10 million units of games sold.
Well, I'm saying of PS5 first-party exclusives sold.
Well, I don't know if it
that's
adds
what
up to
counted
that.
It was very close.
The
to
10
it.
million was the number of consoles sold. That's what that number was for.
Right.
And then you have maybe it adds up.
I mean, if you got 6.5,
7.5, 8,
2,
and then maybe 2 for Demon Souls.
well,
2
you had
million?
2 for MLB.
Or 1 million for
you had
Demon
the
Souls.
6 for Miles. You had the 1 for Ratchet and Clank. That's 9. Then you got the 5, almost like half a mil for Returnal. That's real close to the 10. You know what I mean?
So your rationale is everyone just bought one game and stuck with it?
I'm just saying that it seems as if if you're trying to put the numbers together, it would seem generally that at least for every console sold, there was one first party game that was bought with it. One first party PlayStation game, regardless of whatever they bought. Else among that, just PlayStation. It was one for every console that was sold. And that seems small, but I mean, we see the pickings for it. It's not, it's not great.
That's what would make me
there's not a lot of games.
Think that whenever a game did launch, then it would just sell a lot.
You would think so.
Multiple millions.
Yeah.
Because there isn't anything else on it. So I'm thirsty for a PS5 game. So when Ratchet launched or Returnal launched, I wanted to buy it because there's nothing. I want to play something that's meant for my PS5.
Yeah, but at the same time, we've kind of experienced all across the spectrum You know, like it's continued across the spectrum. So you have Demon Souls, then you have Ratchet and Clank, you have Returnal, you know, MLB the show, if you want to include that, Spider-Man. Like they're not, none of them are like the same type of game. So it's like if you were really into, you know, Souls-like games, Demon Souls is your thing. If you're into just like a fun game that you can go and, you know, pop in and pop out whenever you want to play it, Ratchet and Clank. You know what I mean? If you just really wanted to play Spider-Man, you know, that type of, you know, RPG-ish type of game or whatever, you know, that's what you got.
I'm just saying, why did you buy a PS5 if you weren't planning on buying the PS5 games? Like, if you were planning on just continuing to play Fortnite, why buy a PS5? Like,
why did you? Then my question would be, why did you make a PS5 if you weren't going to make PS5 games for it? It seems like there should be more.
That's my question too.
You made everything that's available for PS5 and PS4.
I totally agree with that.
You don't have PS5 exclusives.
I totally agree with that 100%.
I feel like people just bought the PS4 game version of it instead of buying the PS5 version of it or something.
Well,
like that.
That's only true with like Miles or, you know, MLB The Show. But with Ratchet and Returnal in particular, you couldn't get a PS4 version. Or with Demon Souls, we don't know Demon Souls.
They didn't even sell that much. I mean,
I know, that's what's shocking to me. That's what I'm so like shocked about. Is like, how does 10 million people buy a PS5? That's a lot. Mm-hmm. How does 10 million people buy a PS5 and don't buy the PS5 games for it? Essentially, no one's buying the PS5 games. Essentially.
I mean, like
1 out of 10 of y'all bought Ratchet. Like, that's nobody.
But I mean, if we look at
zero.
If we look at the two minimal games, right, the two lowest games, Returnal and Ratchet and Clank, right? I've never played a Ratchet and Clank before. I just got it because I felt like it would be something that we can talk about on the show, and it was the only
PS5 game that came out really in a long time.
Right, and I enjoyed it. But normally I would not have got it. I would have seen it and I'd been like, okay, cool, it's out. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't have got it. So there's probably a lot of people who just weren't interested in that type of IP, you know, to get that.
That's totally fine. But then why would you buy a PS5 then? Because you knew Ratchet was coming out. Mm-hmm. You knew the games you're going to get to play on this thing. Here, you know them already. Demon Souls, Ratchet, Returnal. We knew those were coming out in the first 6 months.
But you also thought
if you had no interest in playing that, why would you go buy a new console then?
You also thought about that Kenna. You thought Deathloop. You thought like a bunch more of these games.
Yeah, but why would you get it within the first few months? Why not wait a year? Why did you get it now?
New hotness.
That's what I'm saying.
The new hotness, you know what I mean? Like, it's the new thing. You want to try to grab it. You was able to get it, you know what I mean? Lucky enough to get it or whatever, then, you know, boom. But, you know, like you said before, it didn't matter if you got it.
So just
like
a sheep notion? Like everyone's got to get it, so I got to get on board and get one too kind of thing?
No, more so like it's new.
Hot, so I got to get one?
It's new, so I got to get it. Maybe. You know,
yeah,
FOMO.
I don't know, man.
Fear of missing out, man. All about that.
Yeah, that's like the sheep mentality. Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's a lot of the times that's all it is.
That's funny. Because I got it because I wanted those games, right? You know, I wanted Demon Souls.
We wanted a lot more of the other games that we still have not gotten.
Sure, I know. I felt like we were misled on Horizon and God of War in particular that I didn't think I thought we were going to get. And now we're not going to get. So I feel like they did sell us a bag of goods that wasn't entirely the full bag of goods. So maybe that's part of it. But I'm just saying I knew I wanted to play Demon Souls. That's really what puts me over the edge, right? Is like I wanted to play it bad, you know? Like I really wanted to play that game.
It was worthy enough for you to buy a console.
Yeah, I really wanted to play that game.
And now ain't much else out there.
Because we were torn. You and I were torn on whether we should get a new one or just stick with our PS4. We were like, maybe we just stick, you know, and wait.
No, I wasn't torn about wanting the new PS5.
I mean, immediately.
I just wasn't. I wasn't about to pay resale prices for it. Like I wanted it, but I'm not about to get ganked for it. You know what I'm saying? So I'll wait for it. It's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? Like where I'ma just hash out $900 for a digital console.
No, I would never play retail. But I mean, like, I was unsure if it was something that I even really needed to worry at all about getting. Like, do I need to even worry at all about buying this console at all? So because it seems like everything that's coming out is going to be on the PS4 anyways.
So the fact that you got the increased speeds on like load time and stuff like that wasn't enough to just like sell
just
you
that
general?
And that alone wasn't. The games is what sells me. Like with the games is always what sells me. And And so basically, no. And
Did
I
you have
wasn't going to
Did you have
get.
a PS4 Pro?
Yeah, I had a Pro.
What sold you on the Pro?
The Pro,
If you already
probably.
had the PS4, what sold you on the
Well,
Pro?
probably because I wanted to just upgrade my console,
Okay.
you know?
So
But that wouldn't be enough for me to. What I mean is,
you
is
wouldn't
it
want to
was.
upgrade your console again.
If I had to fight to get a PS4 Pro, fight tooth and nail, then I'll just stick with what I have. That's more so what I'm saying.
Okay.
It was a hard deal to get a PS5. It was hard. The reason why I fought to get one because I wanted to play the games that were coming out on it.
Okay.
Like, if it was only going to be a hardware, I'm not going to go fight for that. That's what I'm trying to say. Sleep out at GameStop.
So if it had been PS5 level hard to get a PS4, you would have never gotten one. You would just
If it was a PS5 level hard to get a PS4 Pro, then I probably would have waited. I probably would have waited on it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't hard to get, so I can't. That wasn't even an option in my mind at the time because it wasn't hard to get.
Right.
It was easy to get. So I'm assuming, had the same situation occurred and there was this mad shortage or this scarcity issue like we've never seen before, then I probably would have just said, forget it. I believe I probably would have been like, nah, I'll just wait until it's like, because I'm not getting anything else but like better graphics. Load times didn't change between PS4 and PS4 Pro.
No.
You just got a little bit better graphics.
Yeah, but I'm
So,
still. It just seemed like it was just an upgrade, a console upgrade, right? That's
Right.
all it seemed to be right now. Yeah, you got a couple of games that you can play on it specifically, but it's just been a console upgrade, a gameplay upgrade type of thing. That's what it's boiled down to, with the games we played. I'm playing PS4 games right now, so. You know what I mean? It's
Same
literally
here.
just a console upgrade. That's all. That's all it really is. And they've made it that way because they have not produced enough PS5 only games. I don't know why they're just insisting upon making all of these games available on the PS4 as well. I mean, I guess it's because they know how scarce the thing is and they're just trying to sell as many units, but it just seems like all of the digital consoles that you will eventually sell, people are going to want to buy PS5 games. They're going to want to catch all the ones that they couldn't catch before. So it's like, why wouldn't you just, make all of the games the new ones or whatever on PS5? And then it's like, eventually people are going to buy them and they're going to pay full price for them.
Well, what I'm thinking too is like, another thought I had along the lines of what you're saying is Miles Morales sold 6.5 million copies. That's a little over half. It's 65% of the total PlayStation 5 player base.
Yeah.
So why not just if you can't even get to 10 million when you have the PS4 version of it, you have 10 million users already. So why haven't you already kind of transitioned to producing games, right? For the 10 million you have. Only 1 million people bought Ratchet. Like, you're not missing out on a lot of sales, I don't think, anymore. Like, for me, I really do wonder, like, how much better would the sales have been if you could get Ratchet on the PS4 too? Probably not that much better, because you had Miles on both the consoles, and that's like one of the most popular IPs on the planet, Spider-Man, and only sold 6 million. I just don't think. I would assume a lot of those are PS5 versions.
Yeah,
probably most of them.
I believe that these were the
bundled,
PS5,
right? They were all bundled too.
Yeah, I'd have to look and see like how much
Spider-Man
PS4 was sold all together,
right?
PS4 and PS5,
and which one on each? Yeah. But my mind is like, dude, if you can't even reach your max player base, that would be the concern for me. Like, let's say, dude, like you're selling like almost 10 million copies. You're like, shoot, man, I wish our player base was bigger so we can sell more. Right? Like your player base, clearly in my mind, like your player base isn't really your bottleneck. So just release games on this. You have lots of users, like you're saying, launch games on the PS5 only, man.
Yeah.
And that would probably get more people to buy the system too. You'd even have more sales. Although I think every single console that's available is being sold. I don't think there's a single one on the shelf. So yeah, every one they make is sold.
Yeah, every one that touches ground is getting bought. Now who's buying it? That's a different conversation.
It's probably exactly what you said. Fear of missing out or whatever, right?
No, I'm just saying. I'm thinking the scalpers are the ones that are poaching.
Oh, and that
as soon as
too.
it touches.
That too.
You can't really get your player base.
Yeah, that's
which is
true.
also another issue because
That's a good point.
10 million.
How many of those
consoles
10
being
mils
sold,
are in
but
players' hands?
Yeah,
That's a good point.
There's at least like a million or two that are just sitting in somebody's in people's garages.
How many are
waiting to
actually
be sold,
being played?
how many
that's
are
a good
actually
point.
logged on and being used. I would like to see the PS5 user amount.
Yeah,
That,
logged in.
Basing that.
Logged in user,
basing
active
that,
user.
With the games purchased, then I'd like to see it. So,
Yeah.
If let's say 8 million players are out there for the PS5, but you sold around 10 million units of PS5 games, then we're having a whole different conversation because people have bought
More than
these
one
games. Right. They've bought more than one title, but we're only looking at units sold.
I still think 1 million is really low for Ratchet. That seems really low to me.
It is really low.
Even if it's 8 million user base, even if it's 8 million active users, that seems like very few people went out and bought that, which I think is kind of a shame because it's a really great game. And if you have a PS5, what does the $70 price tag have something to do with that? I don't know. I just don't know what's preventing people from buying that game because it's such a good game.
Yeah. So, definitely down below in the comments, let us know what games, if you have a PS5, what games you actually
what do you like
it.
playing on your PS5?
Yeah,
also,
what are you playing currently right now?
What are you playing right now? Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. Yeah.